Rev it up and welcome to Cars Yeah, show number 1483.
In life, you have to have patience.
This is Cars Yeah, where you'll enjoy interviews with inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Mark Green is here to provide you with a fuel injection of automotive inspiration. So get in, sit down, buckle up, and get ready for a wild ride here on Cars Yeah.
Hello, inspiring automotive enthusiasts, and welcome to Cars Yeah. I am revved up and so excited to share with you today a guest calling in from Brooklyn, New York, where I hear it's a little chilly and warm. Can't decide what it's going to be this winter. Zoriy Birenboym. Zoriy Birenboym is the founder of eAutolease.com, a modern auto dealership that is looking to change the consumer experience for the better. There are no lots to visit, no pushy salespeople to endure, no long waits for managers and finance approvals. Everything is done from your computer at home while he and his team go to work for you to find the vehicle of your dreams. Zoriy is a lifelong entrepreneur and an automotive enthusiast who has devoted himself to building businesses. eAutolease.com is just the tip of the iceberg of what the future holds. We'll take a quick break. We'll come back and talk with Zoriy about what he's up to. But first, a word from our valued sponsors that make Cars Yeah possible. Hey, Cars Yeah, I'm a huge fan of Covercraft. I've protected my vehicles with their products for decades. Want to keep your vehicle's interior looking new? It's easy with Covercraft seat covers. They'll protect your seats from the daily abuse of pets, children, weekend adventures, and even those everyday spills. It's a fast, easy, and inexpensive way to keep your vehicle looking new. All Covercraft seat covers are easy on, easy off design that are machine washable. You can choose from many fabric options, colors, and accessories, all designed and carefully sewn for your special vehicles. Their seat gloves are semi-custom fit for cars and trucks, and their seat savers, a favorite of mine, are custom tailored to fit your seats like a glove. Work truck seat covers are tough, durable denim weight fabric. It's like putting a pair of rugged jeans on your truck's seats. Want to stay warm? Covercraft also offers seat heaters. Covercraft is the right choice. Learn more today at covercraft.com and tell them Mark at Cars Yeah sent you. That's covercraft.com. Hey, Cars Yeah race fans. Andy Collins, owner of Armadillo Racing, is a past guest here on Cars Yeah. Last year, I was honored to be a speaker at his high-performance racing seminar, and having attended, I can tell you it's an invaluable learning experience if you love to race. This year marks the 25th anniversary of Armadillo's high-performance racing seminars, and it takes place Saturday, February 8th in Tacoma, Washington. For your seminar fee, you'll spend a day with 4 of racing's premier professionals on how to improve your driving and much, much more. This year's outstanding speaker lineup include Jacques Delary, PhD, world-renowned high-performance driving and life coach, Jeff Braun, a race engineer with a history at Core Racing and IMSA, Ross Bentley, top driving coach, author of world-renowned Speed Secrets and a fellow podcaster, and Dan Davis, retired director of motorsports for Ford Motor Company. All of these incredible racing experts are past guests here on Cars Yeah. As an added bonus for Cars Yeah listeners, you'll get to join these speakers at the Friday night reception at the incredible LeMay Car Museum for free. That's right. It's a $50 value if you sign up by January 15th. What a deal. Go to Armadillo Racing's website and register. That's armadilloracing.com. Hey, Zoriy, welcome to Cars Yeah. Are you buckled up and ready for a fun ride?
Definitely.
All right, good to have you here. So before we start here, you're welcome. Before we start here, could you tell our listeners maybe a little bit about yourself, a little bit about your background, and of course, a little bit about your business? We'll do a deep dive in a little bit.
You got it. I would love to. Basically, most of my life, I've been raised in New York City. As we spoke earlier a little bit, coming over from Ukraine. I love cars all my life. It was a hobby of mine ever since, I knew what a car was. Since I was in school, it was something that I was always interested in, engines and designs and ins and outs. And just, growing up as a kid, everybody had something that they loved. And it was something that I always dreamed about, and I always loved the Chevys and the Hondas and the old schools and the new schools. So I always wanted to make something out of it, something to help the consumer. Otherwise, my little background, I'm a family man, have a beautiful son, a year and a half old wife, and just living the American dream, doing my best to build a platform for the consumer to help them get a vehicle, lease, finance it, and have a headache-free process.
Yeah, I love this. I love everything about it. And I'm really happy that we were able to connect. I think it's cool. You immigrated here with your family. You told me on our pre-show chat, you were only 4 years old when you got here. So you kind of been here most of your life. So America is what you've known. But I think it's great. We have so many people here on Cars Yeah that immigrate here from other countries to come and try to make their dream come true. And you are a great example of that. Tell our listeners maybe one little thing that most people don't know about you, Zoriy.
They don't know about me. I'm a workaholic. Well, a lot of people see that from the side. I'm a workaholic. Work, 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 work. The family, family, family. That's pretty much it. I dedicate my life to my family, my son, my everybody. I do my best to help everybody. As I said, that's really it. I was always that boy who was interested in business instead of going out hanging out with his friends or partying. Believe it or not, I am from Ukraine, and I come from a family of business people, so I would travel with them when my school breaks on business ventures and so on and so forth. So I was always interested in since I was a little boy. Until I graduated college and was able to, put it all together myself.
Yeah, I think this is great. So many people see successful people and they think, oh, they just made it happen overnight. And that never happens. It just, I always say it just takes a whole lot of work. That's all. Just work real hard and focus on the family, focus on the business, and what, your dreams come true. Well, let's start with a success quote or a mantra, some kind of saying that's important to you. Maybe it ties into your success. It's a nice way to get the inspirational tires turning here on Cars Yeah. So Zoriy, grab the wheel.
Definitely. As I said, as I was growing up and I was around all different types of business people, and I was always curious and interested, about the ins and outs and how to make the wheels in motion. And it's not an easy process. There's going to be obviously a lot of negativity from people. Nobody ever wants to see you succeed. Everybody's always negative. What are you doing? Why are you wasting your time? There's so much competition, and so on and so forth. So, the mantras that I live by is something that I was actually taught by my grandfather, who was also an entrepreneur, is in life, you have to have patience. Very, very big deal. A lot of people cannot take it or can't understand it, but something that mantra that I live by, and time and patience is key. So you want to build something overnight. That doesn't happen. You have to have patience. You have to understand that it's a process. That's definitely one of the biggest keys in success. Nothing comes easy. You know what I mean? You have to go up. You follow the ups and downs of life.
You're sharing a wonderful story. You had a very wise grandfather, and I think a lot of our elders are very smart in only the fact that they've done this, they've been there, and they know things like this. But so many people today think you can be an overnight success. And I'll tell you, from the 1400 and now 83rd guest here on Cars Yeah, persistence, tenacity, patience is how you get there. It just doesn't happen overnight. There's no such thing. But I think you had a very, very wise grandfather. Well, let's talk a little bit about eautolease.com. I'm very interested to learn what you set up here for consumers who are interested in leasing cars. So talk a little bit about how the whole process works.
So it's actually a pretty simple process. If you go to our website, which is www.eautolease.com, you actually get to look at our platform. You get to pick and choose what fits your budget, what's 4-wheel drive, what's 2-wheel drive. It's separated in different type of categories. That way, to meet the consumer's needs of what they're actually looking for, we have a 24-hour chat. At any given point, they can call up the office and speak to a live rep, or via the chat or email, and they have access to best deals, best programs, all the rebates, all the incentives, everything that they qualify for at the tip of their fingertips from their home, their office, or wherever they will be.
So it sounds like you've taken out the part of buying or leasing that everybody dislikes, and that is having to have the guy come out and what can we park in your garage today and sit in the room, and he's going back and forth, and you're sitting there going, can we just make a decision to move forward here? You're taking all that away. You're making it easy. Plus, I like the idea that you can go to your website, and I went there and played around a little bit. I think it's fantastic, where you have options of all different makes and models. So you don't have to go to 20 different facilities, different dealerships, and deal with the same thing over and over and the pressures. And it just takes all the fun out of getting a new car. You've put that fun back in.
That's exactly it. That's a beautiful way of saying it, because we want to make it a fun process. We want to make it an enjoyable process. We want you to get the vehicle, be happy, love the new car smell, and not sit and worry that you just dealt with 19 different people and what happened.
Wasted
and
a whole weekend.
Wasted a whole weekend. But if you do if you do your homework and you take a look and you do some research, the brick and mortar dealership life is coming to an end. A lot of people don't like to hear that, obviously, but it's true. People are fortunately and unfortunately, people are becoming more lazier. People are used to shopping online. They're used to buying their groceries online. They don't want to leave their house. They don't want to leave their job. Some people want to spend more time with their kids, which they don't have enough time of the day. Some people want to do some more of their leisure. That's where we come in. And the beauty part about us is that you're dealing with one person from A to Z. So if you pick the vehicle you like, you want to know more details, we assign a sales consultant who's there for you from the beginning to the end, and through the end, I mean through the entire lease. So if you have any issues that you're concerned about, if your car broke down and need a service help, or if you have a tire issue or some sort of anything that's car related, we're there up to the point where you need to surrender it and go through your final inspection and make sure that you don't have to pay a ton of money and fees and damages and so on and so forth.
When you're at the end of your lease. Well, I think it's fantastic. What point in your life did you realize that this kind of a career was the right thing for you?
Well, they say do what you love, and it's not a job. As I was growing up, I graduated, college. I got my diplomas. I got my bachelor's in business, and so on and so forth. But I really didn't love anything as much as I loved. I love cars. I love that it's changing. I love where it's going. I love that every household in New York has 3 to 4 cars. But I didn't love the process. And anybody who I spoke to, or even me when I was younger and I tried to purchase something at a dealership, is just a nagging process of just wasting hours and hours and hours and hours. But why? What's the point? I'm cutting out that whole headache. You know what I mean? With us, you can go on our website, pick and choose, and if done fast enough, you can have your vehicle delivered within the next 2-3 hours.
Wow. That's very cool. My next door neighbor bought 2 new cars last year. Now, he purchased his cars. Do you guys do purchases as well as leases?
We do purchases. We help with financing. We help with everything. It's not an issue. Everything that's car related, we're involved. So we're there for you for every step of the way. As I said, the beauty part is if you're a college student, a lot of the brands offer college rebates that people aren't aware of. If you're a vet or you're currently serving in the Army, you're eligible for more incentives. If you work for a Fortune 500 company, you're eligible there. There's so much that the consumers aren't aware of, and that unfortunately the dealerships just like to glom. We help them receive that. There's a corporate list where people, if they work for Chase or so on and so forth, you get executive allowance bonuses, and that's all money that belongs to the people. And that's what we're here to do. We're here to make it easy. We're here to help them. We're here to get them all the best deals and turn their future business and the repeat and families. That's what pretty much we're looking for.
Yeah, well, there you can take my slogan and tie that back to your business. It's yours. We put the fun back into getting your favorite automobile. eautolease.com is the place to go. What's the favorite thing about what you're doing right now? What brings you the most joy?
Honestly, what brings me the most joy is at the end when the consumer gets their car, when the contract is signed, when they still get the new car smell, and I'm always present at most of the deliveries to make sure that my staff is doing the right thing. So I shake the consumer's hand and I get that beautiful review. Whether it's on any one of our platforms, I don't know if you've done any research, but Dealer Rater, we signed up a couple of years back. We have almost 2,000 reviews.
Yeah.
We pride in that.
A lot of
So
awards, too.
a lot of awards. We just actually won the 2020 Customer Satisfaction Award. Tomorrow they're announcing Dealer of the Year.
Wow.
And hope God willing, we're going to be there. So we fight for all these awards. As the years have been going, this platform is new to people. So I've been doing as much as I can to educate the consumer why this is the way to go, why this is the future, why we're better, and so on and so forth. Because there are those who are skeptical, but the newer generations, they see it, they understand it. It's more easier. The older ones, they're worried about what's going to happen to their information, what's going to happen here, what's going to happen there. Again, we cross the T's and dot our I's. We make sure that everything, all the software and everything is perfect, making sure that it's customers' information is always secure, and so on and so forth. So again, if you're not scared to purchase shoes and clothing on a website, you shouldn't be scared to do business with us.
Yeah, as I mentioned earlier, my next door neighbor, he's of my age, so a little older guy, I guess. I won't call him old. Won't call me old, but we are more mature. Let's do it that way. And he just bought 2 new cars last year. He purchased them and ended up, he went to some dealers and just wasn't very happy with local dealers and the experience, and just went online, and a week later, the new cars roll up on a transporter and boom, done. Yeah, and consumers are so educated now. They can do, we can do so much homework and know so much more many times than the salespeople do about the vehicles, just because it's hard for them to know everything. So this is a tremendous deal. Let's take a look at some of the roads you've driven down here and talk about a challenge or a failure. And I bring this up not to drum up something bad of your past, but really more to share that experience with others who might be going through the same thing, but how you came out positively on the other end. So take us there, would you?
Yeah, of course. Again, challenges. Listen, I've been through a lot. As I said, I've been doing this since I was since I got my driver's license, since I'm 16 years old. Today I'm 34 years old. And
a young man, Zoriy.
But I've dedicated a lot of my life to this, and I'm doing my best to expand it now. But I've been through the recessions, I've been through the time, the terrible time. I've been through it all. I've seen it. I've had the ins and outs. It's not as much to say as in business. You have to understand that it's a roller coaster ride. As I said, it took time. So to build it, it took time to get the reviews. It took time to get the customer to believe in me. It took time. There's a lot of people, as I said, want to see you fail. I also live by a quote that I believe in very much, and that I recommend to a lot of business folk, is that you have to spend money to make money. So if you want to be visible, if you want to be number one, if you want to have the consumers find out that you exist, you have to be ready to invest within your own business. You have to make sure, you know what I mean? You can't just sit there and think, oh my God, that's it. The door is open and people are going to be running in. It doesn't work like that anymore. There are no walk-ins anymore. It's a different world we're going towards. So you have to understand that this is this is why I'm here. This is why we're on the podcast. I want to educate the consumer. As I said, there's been a lot of downfalls over the years and a lot of uprisings. It's very difficult to find good employees. Make sure that everything is on point. So a lot of different aspects. You can't really put the nail on one.
Well, let me talk a little bit about one thing you brought up there. And one thing I'll also share. There's a great quote that I saw years ago, and it was this: unseen, untold, unsold. And the idea of it is, if you aren't willing to go out and advertise your business on a regular basis, and it's unseen and untold, it will be unsold. You've got to get out there
100%.
and advertise. Yeah, any way you can. But you talked about the recession. Now, back in 08, 09, 10, I mean, that slammed the car industry like nobody could believe. So going through that period of time, if I could have you define maybe one important lesson that helped you get through that time, what was it?
Realistically, believe in yourself. Don't let the fire go out. Believe in yourself. Don't let the fire go out. As I said, being young, I got into an enterprise where all these brick and mortar companies are all run by older gentlemen that've been around the block, who want me to fail, who were happy by things like this that would make us fail. And you always have to have if you believe in yourself, make sure that the flame in your chest is lit. You always have to make sure that you're ambitious, and I'm always ambitious. I get support from the family, but I wake up in the morning knowing that this is what needs to be done. I go to sleep knowing this is what needs to be done, and you try to leave something behind you, which it's very difficult in our time today compared to 30, 40, 50 years ago when things were developing and everything was new. And today it's difficult to reinvent the tire, to reinvent the wheel. You understand? When they were just inventing it. So you got to move with the future. You got to move with the trends, because if you're not moving with the trends, then prepare to die.
Absolutely. Keep the faith. Let's take a short break, thank our sponsors, and we'll be right back. My favorite collector car magazine is Keith Martin's Sports Car Market. I've been a subscriber for decades. Sports Car Market is the Wall Street Journal for the enthusiast and the collector. It's your monthly must-read whether you dream of owning a collector car, have 2 cars, or 200. Sports Car Market has been around for 31 years, and it's filled with valuable articles, intelligent write-ups, and the latest auction sales. Go to sportscarmarket.com and subscribe today. Plus, you'll get the exclusive SCM guide to restoration shops included for free. At checkout, use the code CARSYEAH and receive a 50% discount on your digital subscription. It's an exclusive offer from me here at Cars Yeah. I'm Mark Green, and I love Sports Car Market magazine. Are you looking for a way to get your products or services into the ears of thousands of automotive enthusiasts around the globe? I can help. This is Mark Green here at Cars Yeah. And I'd be honored to be an influencer and ambassador for your brand in a unique and personal way. 5 days a week, thousands of subscribers and listeners enjoy the Cars Yeah podcast and website. Contact me today and I'll show you how at mark@carsyeah.com or connect with me through the Cars Yeah website at carsyeah.com. If you're listening to Cars Yeah, you probably spent some time working on your favorite ride. But how confident are you in working on your finances? You may be able to rebuild a fuel injection system, but can you decipher the details of a mutual fund? If you're like me, investments, insurance, annuities, budgeting, and other financial concepts may seem a bit boring. But what if I told you there's a book that describes these subjects and more in an easy-to-read and very humorous way? My friend Chris Kimball, a longtime sponsor here, CFP, has written that book. It's called The Saga of Ike and Penny, a couple's humorous journey through the confusing world of finance. It's a fun look at things you need to know, everything from investing to effective ways to get rid of a credit card debt. And it's probably the only book on finance with a VMAX on the front cover and a classic Mini Cooper on the back. Available at Amazon for just $10, this book would dramatically improve the direction of your financial future. Order yours today. I gave both my kids a copy. ASS Securities through Money Concepts Capital Corp. Christopher V. Kimball Financial Services is not affiliated with Money Concepts Capital Corp. Get your copy of The Saga of Ike and Penny today. All right, we are back. Zoriy, would you share a story with me that instigated your personal passion for cars? You talked earlier about being a car guy since you were a little kid. Is there one pivotal moment in your life when you knew you were indeed going to be a car guy for life?
Yes and no. It just, most of my family, I've been surrounded by car guys. So my uncle, my grandfather, my father, growing up, I'm an 80s kid. So growing up, I loved the cars. They loved the cars. My uncle was a mechanic. My grandfather was into cars. He loved the newer models. Everybody loved switching them around. I was in the environment. of it, living in the environment of it. And there was just a lot of different things going on that I seen because, it's not just in this country. I used to travel. I used to meet with different people who were own dealerships overseas, who would bring in inventory from America. All of this fascinated me because it was a lot of stuff. It's not cars. It's metal. It's the same thing as stocks. The whole process is amazing itself if you know it.
You got to be educated. What was your first really special vehicle? Maybe that first car that you got that had meaning for you.
My first real special vehicle, I had a Mazda, I had a Ford. Growing up, I would, if it had wheels, I said thank you. You know what I mean? It was. I love the process. I loved understanding the difference between a 4-cylinder, 6-cylinder. I once had a Ford Explorer that I bought from like a police auction, which had like the police engine in it, which was fascinating to me. I had an Audi. The terrible part about I tell it to all my friends. The terrible part about being in this business so many years is that I love cars so much, but they don't give it to me anymore. Everybody gets fascinated. They see all these new cars and these new Nissans and Toyotas and Lexuses and BMWs. To me, it's a car. It's a commodity.
Zoriy, tell me you haven't lost the car passion, my friend. Come on. We're going to have to stop the show right now if that's where we're going here.
I love cars. Don't get me wrong. I love everything about them.
Let me go back to that question because the question was the first really special car. We get you've had a lot of cars. I would expect that from you. But the first one you got that you got into it and you went, man, this is cool. I've always wanted something like this. Was it that Mazda or was there something different?
No, it was something different. If we're talking about something that was cool, it was I had a 1994 BMW 5 Series. And what was special about it, it was a 540 BMW, which it had the V8 engine, and that's definitely a car that I'll never forget. It was dollar green exterior. It was just a killer car.
Dollar green. I've never heard that description before.
I don't remember the name of the paint, but I'm trying to give you an exact picture of the color. It was green. It would look like a dollar. It was beautiful. The interior was beige. It was fantastic. You would touch the pedal, and it was a rocket. It was nice amazing.
Cars. Here's a little introspective question. I'm going to get in your head a little bit here, Zoriy. If you woke up tomorrow and you were a vehicle, manifested as a car, not what you want to be, but how you perceive yourself as a vehicle, makes it a little harder. What would it be?
That's a tough question. What would it be
what would Zoriy be? If there was a car named Zoriy.
If there was a car named Zoriy, what would I be?
The Zoriy Model X.
Yeah, I don't know what the right answer to this question is because
there is no answer. There's only one answer.
There's definitely only one answer. I'll tell you. There's a car that I particularly loved ever since I was a kid, and again, maybe it's because I'm from Ukraine, or maybe it's a little bit of background the way I was raised. But I actually restored a vehicle that I've wanted ever since I was a child, and I enjoy it more because it's a classical, more of an older vehicle than even a new one of the same model. But I actually restored a 1999 that was the last year of the release of their Mercedes-Benz S600. Not a lot of people understand me, think I'm crazy, but that's a V12 engine.
Yeah,
and
big boy.
And I was watching, some movies when I was a kid growing up. It was always the entrepreneur was driving it, or it was in any of the it was in a lot of movies. So it was in the movie Transporter, it was in the movie here, it was in the movie there. So it was always used as a fast car, a fast getaway car, or whatever it was, or an intimidating car, or something like that. But I love it. It's big. It's like a couch. I drive it. People tell me, "What are you doing?" There's the new ones are out there, all the technology, and there's something about it. I feel it. I feel like it's me. And there is. I can't even describe the enjoyment that I have. I guess as I was younger, you wanted newer. As I'm getting older, I'm loving older more. Maybe it's because I'm around cars so much, the twists and
Yeah,
turns.
that's
But
probably true.
and
Yeah, the old school.
it was extremely rare. There were only
Yeah.
about a little bit over 100 made in '99. Took it in as a little hobby, and it took me a little bit of time, but practically brand new.
There you go. So Zoriy would be the Z600.
Yeah, the
Mercedes-Benz is
Z600.
what we'll call it. There you go.
Correct.
Nice. I knew I could get you there if I worked a little bit. Well, Zoriy, we are entering what I call the last lap. I'm going to fire off a series of questions, ask you to give our listeners some very quick blips of that S600 throttle, or the Z600, we'll call it that. So here we go. Would you share one of your personal habits you believe has contributed to your many successes over the years?
I'm a type of person that goes to sleep and I think about work, and I wake up and I think about work. And
You're
I'm
having
always
fun with what you're doing.
especially when you love the process. I love the growth as the years have been going, and the more we've educated the consumer. I love the process more. I love that I'm in it. I love that people are enjoying the car buying experience. I love that we're starting a trend. I love that I'm in it. And believe it or not, I do not believe that there's a business without an owner, without the CEO. So I live here, believe it or not. I spend as much time as I can in the morning. I wake up earlier to spend time with my son. I do my best to be there for him on the weekends. But if you ever need to find me out, I'm always here.
There you go.
You got to invest.
How about if I could, yeah. How about if I could arrange for you to have a drink or a meal with anyone in the automotive industry, living or deceased? Who would it be?
I'm very impressed where Tesla's going. And I would love to have a conversation with Mr. Musk.
Wouldn't I too? Yeah, he's a busy guy. I've tried to track him down, but incredible. I mean, just recently they went over 100 billion valuation, and the naysayers have been picking on him forever. I look at that guy with awe because of what he's done previously in his life and the things that he's created. I mean, his mind is. It'd be a scary place to jump into his head because it must be just firing on all 100 cylinders all the time.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, wouldn't that
he looks
be fun?
like he's definitely the on button's always on.
Yeah, absolutely. How about automotive advice? What's the best automotive advice you've ever received that you could share with our listeners today?
Take care of your cars. Take care of your vehicles.
Yes.
Today, moving forward, besides that, a very, very important recommendation, take care of your credit. Take care of your credit, because if you want the best deals, if you want the best interest rates, if you want what's out there the best, take care of your, be a little bit more responsible. Take care of it, because this country is built on credit, and your credit score is everything. So whether it's with us or with someone else.
A lot of people don't realize that credit score is not just related to loans you take out. It can be related to your car insurance premiums. It can be related to a lot of different things. And, it's not that hard to take care of that credit. Just like you said, be responsible. Don't overborrow. Don't buy what you can't afford. Definitely take care. Yeah, it's a great advice. How about a resource for our listeners? I kind of think I know the answer to this one would probably be a great resource called eautolease.com. But is there another one you might want to share?
Realistically, Google has everything today. I could recommend, there's a bunch out there, Edmunds and so on and so forth. But the problem is that a lot of people don't know the questions that they need to look for. That's where we come in. And at any given point, but it's out there. As you said, the consumers are getting extremely educated, which is great. And what the beauty part is that we haven't mentioned. The fact is that in this entity, the consumer is more concerned about the payment, getting delivered what they're promised. And what I find fascinating, believe it or not, is that I've managed to cut out the test driving process.
Interesting.
Think about that.
I know. That's pretty revolutionary.
People want the payment over everything else. today.
How about a book, Zoriy? Is there a book you've read that you'd like to share?
Lately, I've been reading trends and resale values, and those are the type of books that I read, and where the country is going, and so on and so forth. So I read a lot of journals and newspapers and magazines. That's really all day and all night. When I have a free moment, I like to read the market trends.
Is there a website that you go to that you find those that you tend to go to every day for market trends?
I like to read I'm a big fan of as I said, I'm an enthusiast, so I read Car and Driver, Motor Trend, what's coming in the future. The websites that are showing the vehicles that are coming out in the next few months or a year. Where are we going? How's the market affecting prices? How's the weather affecting the prices? How's all-wheel drive affecting our East Coast? That's pretty much the stuff that I read on to understand. Because believe it or not, most of the consumers, the customers that we have, you become their car guru. Your car, I don't want to use the word guru, but you become the person they come to for advice. So, and if I know the programs, it doesn't matter to me which vehicle, obviously, they purchase. But I'm here to tell them this is what's best. If you want to buy for your kids, this is what's going to hold value the better. This is what is going to make financial sense, why you should leave your money in the bank at least and on finance. And, we do our best not to disappoint.
There you go. That's all. There's a great book. I don't know if you ever read this book, but it was written by a guy named Carl Sewell called Customers for Life. I read it years ago, and he was a very successful car dealership owner, multiple dealerships, I believe in Texas, but it was a wonderful book about how to treat customers. It'd be interesting to take a look at what's happening today in the car market versus back when he was brick and mortar primarily to see if any of those things would work. But you know what? I know they would, because so many of the things he suggested are basically treating the consumer right. So I'll add that to your reading list if you'll allow me to. I'll remind everybody you can find all these great resources that Zoriy shared with us on his very own show notes page. Just go to carsyeah.com, type in his name, which is spelled Zoriy, and his last name Birenboym, Birenboym. All right, we are up to the checkered flag. And this last question could be a bit of a doozy, but it's a great thought. I'm going to buy you any cool collector car. I'm going to bring you back into the fold so you're 100% diehard car guy here, Zoriy, by buying you a very cool collector car. But here are the rules. It's the only one you can have. So that means if you want to keep your Mercedes, that's fine, but that's the one you get. I don't have to buy you a car. You have to drive it. No garage queens allowed here. And you can't sell it to buy a bunch of other toys with or finance your business. It's a keeper. So what's it going to be? The dream collector car.
I'm a big fan of James Bond, so I like the Aston Martin DB5 that he driven in Goldfinger. I love that thing. I adore it. Every time it's in a newer movie, I'm obsessed with it. I love James Bond. I love the whole idea of it. That's definitely something that I would keep for life. So that's definitely something that I would enjoy.
Well, that's pretty cool. Back in June of 2019, that car went to market. It was up for sale, and it sold for quite a pretty penny. I think it sold, Sotheby's sold it back in 2006, I think, for like $2 million. I have to go look up what it ended up selling for. I can't quite remember, but it was quite a lot. So this is going to cost me a pretty penny here, Zoriy. Thanks a lot. But that's okay. I'm happy to buy that car for you. I think you look pretty cool driving around Brooklyn in that thing. And, if things get a little rough, you could do an Uber and put somebody in the front seat. And if they're misbehaving, just hit the eject button and boom, they're out of there. So I think that sounds like a great choice. Zoriy, you've taken me on an awesome ride today. Been really fun to get to know you better and sharing your business, eautolease.com, with my listeners. Could you offer us, before you drive off in the sunset in that 007 DB5, one little piece of wisdom or guidance?
For all the entrepreneurs out there, wisdom or guidance, definitely, as I said, don't give up. Put in your hard work. And remember, aside from time and patience, you need to spend money to make money. That's definitely the wisdom that I will pass on.
Absolutely. Great. And the best way for our listeners to learn more about you is eautolease.com. Just go to that website. I'll put links to it. Easy to find, though, eautolease.com, and you can check out everything that Zoriy has shared with this company today. I want to thank Nicole at NB Talent Services and Dara Avanius, if I'm saying Dara's last name wrong, I apologize, at Fascinate Media for connecting me with Zoriy. They've been really great at connecting you to Cars Yeah. Thanks for being so generous today with your time, your expertise, and for sharing your experiences with our listeners. Until you and I talk again, Zoriy, and you pick me up in that DB5 for a ride, I'll see you down the road.
You got it. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Hey, Cars Yeah listeners, this is Mark Green. If you love the Cars Yeah podcast, I have something new for you. I've teamed up with Keith Martin, a collector car market expert and the editor of Sports Car Market magazine, to create the Buy, Sell, Hold podcast. Buy, Sell, Hold is the essence of collecting. Together, we take you on an educational ride into the collector car market, talking with industry experts, helping you navigate your collector car journey so you know when to buy, sell, hold. We talk with seasoned experts who buy, sell, and hold investment vehicles, and they'll share their insider secrets on how they make their buying decisions when it comes to making these important investments. You'll find the Buy, Sell, Hold podcast on the Cars Yeah website, on the Sports Car Market website, and if you're a podcast app subscriber to Cars Yeah, Buy, Sell, Hold will come right to your mobile device, just like the Cars Yeah podcast, automatically. Join Keith Martin and me on a great new venture on the Buy, Sell, Hold podcast today.
Thank you so much for joining us on today's ride here at Cars Yeah. Drive on over to carsyeah.com to find show notes and inspiring automotive fun. Download your free copy of Filler Up, a fun book filled with gorgeous photographs of fuel filler fun, including quotes from more inspiring automotive enthusiasts. Download your copy today, and we'll see you next time on Cars Yeah.